Ankyo Briggs is also an activist in the Niger Delta region. She says that there's nothing to suggest that militancy could be returning to the Niger Delta after the amnesty program. According to her, though the attack is an economic sabotage, the federal government should not be hasty to run to conclusions yet.
First of all, what has happened in Warri or anywhere else in the Niger Delta, I think there has been 2 or 3 explosions. First of all, nobody has taken responsibility for that. Second of all, there are many groups around Nigeria and even in the Niger Delta that are aggrieved for one reason or the other. That militancy is returning to the Niger Delta. No, that does not. What has happened does not give me that indication at all. Again, I do not believe so. I do not believe so because the issue of the explosions that has gone on, the 2 or 3 explosions has gone on. We don't know who is doing it. Who is doing it? Who has taken responsibility for it? When Boko Haram does something, they take responsibility for it. In the past, when MEND has done something, MEND has taken responsibility for it. Right now, nobody has taken responsibility for it. There are just suspicions all over the place. And you cannot run a government on suspicion. You cannot develop people on suspicion. You cannot provide security on suspicion. You have to have the facts on ground. And right now, for me, there is no facts to show who is responsible for the explosion. So I cannot say and will not say that militancy is returning to the Niger Delta region. On the issue of the statement that is accredited to the leader, the head of the JTF, I am horrified that somebody at such a responsible position and such a critical and sensitive position, especially in the Niger Delta, can make such a statement. I think that statement is reckless. When you say that you are going to hold all traditional leaders, traditional rulers, maybe chiefs, and maybe outspoken people from that particular region responsible for what you cannot even pinpoint who is responsible for this thing is very, very reckless and dangerous. How are you going to hold traditional rulers responsible? There are people active in Boko Haram, for instance. Have you held their traditional rulers responsible? There is so many things that is going on in Nigeria. Are you holding the traditional rulers of those places responsible? I think that we shouldn't go in that direction whatsoever. You cannot, I repeat, it is reckless to say and to think along those lines, that the traditional rulers, the leaders from the Niger Delta, maybe outspoken people, even people like me, should be held responsible for what is happening in the creeks. I think that is dangerous and very, very insensitive at this time, especially when, for instance, Baramatu has been attacked. This is the second time federal government is going to attack that community. Baramatu has been attacked because they believe that it is Tompolo that is responsible. Now, I think that attacking communities, we have the memory of Odi, where many people, thousands of people were killed because of this sort of thing. I think we should come away from acting on impulse, from acting on suspicion, on insinuations, believing things that you cannot prove, and then acting on that. It makes the people feel victimized. We don't want a situation where people are feeling victimized. I think we're victimized enough from past for us not to feel again victimized in another time of government, and for us to be fearful for the future.
The activists believe the federal government's amnesty program has brought no benefit to the Niger Delta region in terms of development, contrary to claims by the authorities.
Again, when it comes to the amnesty, I keep repeating what I have said all along. The amnesty was offered by late President Yaradua for a specific reason, and it was taken for a specific reason. Now, the federal government at Yar'Adua's tenure through to Jonathan, and now the federal government has been the beneficiary of the amnesty, including the 30 or so thousand people that are on record to have accepted amnesty. If we remember, the output of oil was reduced to about 700,000 barrels of oil per day during the Yar'Adua time, starting from Obasanjo's time till the Yar'Adua's time. And from when the amnesty was accepted and everything quieting down in the creeks, we saw the output of oil rise to 2 point something million naira barrels per day. So in that sense, the amnesty has worked. It has worked for Nigeria. It has worked for the people who accepted amnesty. The people and the place it has not worked for is the Niger Delta region. The Niger Delta has not in any way, shape or form changed as a process of the amnesty, because Yar'Adua promised us during the discussion leading up to the amnesty and the acceptance of the amnesty that the amnesty will give him at that time the opportunity to rapidly develop the Niger Delta, which was one of the issues that that the Niger Delta people have been agitating for and continue to agitate, which is the development of the region. Plus today, and even then, and more so today, ownership of the resources that is in the Niger Delta. Because personally, I have come to the conclusion that no government is going to develop the Niger Delta region. Not even the governors at this present time, working with the constitution that we have today, working with the lack of federalism in Nigeria. The fact that governors have to run to Abuja to collect allocation after the federal government has taken the allocation that belongs, the resources that belongs to the people, and now share this allocation amongst 36 states. So that shows very clearly my position that nobody's going to develop the Niger Delta.
The government has to obey the rule of law. The government has to play along the rules of the game. If you want to engage militants and you think they are responsible, go ahead and engage them. It has nothing to do with communities. Nobody has gone to Baga and killed all the communities around people there because Boko Haram has operated there. No Niger Delta community must be attacked. We will not sit back and allow our people to be used as cannon fodder just to accelerate the career or morbid ambitions of any soldier or any politician, either in the Niger Delta or anywhere in Nigeria.
The attacks on the oil facilities have led to the shutting down of the Port Harcourt and Kaduna refineries, said to be directly linked to the burst pipes.
Once we come out, the deed is done.
Security personnel may have redoubled surveillance in the Niger Delta creeks, but what remains unclear is the reason for the attacks. Who are those behind it? And what would be the government's next line of action?